Hello and welcome to McAfee and this is just incense here. This is just incense. McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk here on Monday, April 6th. It is Tim McAfee's birthday. I am Pat McAfee. To my left, your right, is the handsome Ohio State legend, AJ Hawk. How are you, AJ? How was the weekend, pal?
Weekend was great. I think right now the days of the week don't really matter a whole lot to many of us. But, yeah, it was good. We had 2 nights of WrestleMania. I'm sure you're excited. We'll dive into some of that. It's a bit weird watching it with no fans. I give those dudes and those guys and gals a lot of credit. They perform like there's a full, sold-out, 100,000 seat stadium when they're in there with nobody.
You know, the thing that was in the ladder match was absurd because you would think, you know, they say like the adrenaline helps you. Like I watched you win a Super Bowl yesterday as well on Fox. Congrats to you, by the way.
AJ.
Way to go, AJ. I watched you win a Super Bowl. There's a couple times where you got pancaked and ran over, but they say the adrenaline is something that you don't even really feel it in the moment. You just kind of move forward. I would assume in the wrestling world, the adrenaline comes from the fans and the energy. So whenever they're doing those massive ladder things, that had to hurt so bad. There was a couple times I was watching, I was like, man, I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm very impressed with their mental fortitude because I would not be fucking around and falling on a ladder from 20 feet. I mean, it was insane to watch the weekend of entertainment. And due to the circumstances, those shows could have been despicable. They could have been terrible shows. I mean, they could have been terrible. I think with what the world has right now, with no fans and the ability, not having the ability to have all your wrestlers there at the same time, they're kind of coming in waves, so everybody's away from each other. I think it was a good show and it was a great little escape of entertainment. I appreciated it immensely, as I did watching your Green Bay Packer team win that Super Bowl. I forgot how good of a game that was and how good your team was.
Yeah, it was a close game. It came down to the last possession. We had to make a stop to get the win. But I wanted to go back to WrestleMania quick. How do you think Gronk did? I got both nights because my 7-year-old wanted to see some of the matches, but I didn't get to see Gronk a whole lot. Like, what was he doing? I know he was hosting. Like, when did he come out and what did he say?
He danced a couple times. There was a couple dancing moments. He cut 2 promos. Beginning of first night and the beginning of second night, he cut 2 promos. I thought he did okay. I mean, the way he was dressed was the most Gronk thing of all time, the glasses. Then he jumped off like a 10-foot high platform onto about 50 dudes. Then he pinned his friend Mojo Rawley for the 24/7 title. He's a champion. And this begs to ask the question, since Gronkowski is a champion yet again, now outside of the NFL, the Patriots haven't been worth a damn since Rob Gronkowski left so long ago. You know what I mean? The decline of the dynasty really begins and ends with Rob Gronkowski no longer being a Patriot. And then he comes in WWE, his second day on the job, he's a champion. Is Rob Gronkowski the it factor to building a dynasty, or was this potential thing that happened during WrestleMania kind of tough to watch? That's an interesting question that you could ask either way there.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Gronk. I'll have to go back and check it out. I saw online that he won some kind of championship, as you guys say in the biz. Right? So what kind of belt did he get?
Belts hold up your pants, okay?
Titles, all right, Sam Roberts. Thank you.
You want Sam Roberts on this show? We can get Sam Roberts on the show.
I've heard Sam say that. I listen to Jim and Sam sometimes. You gonna text Sam and try to get him on?
Well, we got Drew McIntyre in 10 minutes, so we can fit in. Hey, Sam, can we FaceTime you? I told him last night I did a WrestleMania reaction show with him. I said, can I just call you tomorrow anytime if we have any questions or anything? And he was like, sure, man, call me whenever. I'm literally locked in my house, so just do whatever.
I know he's got a nice studio in his basement, so his connection should be good.
Oh, he always tells. Have you heard the story of his studio? He'll invite people to his studio, okay? And they have no idea what it is. They think he has his own studio, and then they show up. It's his house, and then they walk past like his wife and kid, and then they walk down the basement into the studio that he has. Sam Roberts is one of my favorite humans on earth. He is hated on the internet, but in real life, he's one of my favorite people on earth. I think WrestleMania had a good show, though. I honestly did. This weekend, Saturday, we were talking about this off air. Saturday felt like it was 7 days long. I mean, it felt so long. The days are getting long at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. I bet it's different for people, say you're single by yourself. how long that day may be. Say you're married
do,
or you're
just
engaged,
KY
you're living
yourself?
with you're living with your spouse or
time.
something. That's long. And then if you have kids, you're trying to entertain them throughout the days. So it's another form of length for the day.
You got a bunch of single dudes out there using Roman swipes on themselves to masturbate to pass the time a little bit longer.
Hey, I told you that in confidence.
Frankie boy beating the salami. I mean, these times are honestly, it is. I thought WrestleMania was massive because it was something new and exciting to watch, and I thought they did well. We have Drew McIntyre joining us in 9 minutes. He's a champion. Let's talk about some things before we get to him. The NFL draft is becoming one that I think is going to be legendary. Just like WrestleMania is going to be memorable because of the way it was with no fans and how they battled through, this NFL is becoming one now where they're going to have to adjust. They're doing it from people's houses. They're doing it from facilities and restaurants. And Rich Eisen and the ESPN host, whoever it will be in one, I assume, on FaceTime in one page. And then they'll send it over to somebody's house where they'll make a pick. And now you have NFL executives genuinely paranoid that one team or multiple teams are going to hire a young hacker and hack into team Zooms and get a piece of what they're talking about. And I'll tell you what, I am pumped up about that paranoia, and I'm not putting it past any team to potentially bring in some special ops IT guy to hopefully get a little peek-see and to see what the hell Belichick's doing, to see what other teams are doing. Andy Reid, maybe the Cincinnati Bengals. That seems like a place that'd be easy to hack. They have no indoor practice facility. I would assume their cyber security is probably just like when you got to knock twice on and you just get right in. I would assume the Bengals aren't going to have. I am pumped up about the paranoia around this whole thing, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out.
I think that this is one where the paranoia actually may be a little bit legit. Like we've said many times.
Oh, you think so?
Football coaches especially are the most paranoid people on the planet. Didn't you tell a story how your GM or somebody thought the plane flying overhead was the Patriots spying on practice or something?
I know it's them. I know it's Belichick. I know
that happens. But with this, I guess you could. I think I said something to you before we started the show that this may benefit some of the younger staffs that are a little more tech savvy. Some guys that know like the ins and outs of the internet a little bit more. Yeah. Maybe they can recruit somebody, bring them onto the staff, and you could label them as like your IT guy or somebody to make sure your Zoom connection and everything goes well on draft day. But then you can just slowly start feeding them little, hey, what do you, if you wanted to dial up some other team, like say that the three teams that are picking above us, could you possibly just maybe take a gander at maybe what their conversations look like? And the guy's probably thinking, yeah, sure, let me just code it, and he pops it up. But is that illegal? Do you get fines and huge repercussions from the NFL if that happens? This is such a unique time. I don't think there's rules in the playbook for this right now.
I think it's illegal in real life. I'd assume you can't just hack into other people's phone calls. But, I mean, the NFL has its own rules. We all know that. Weed's legal in places, but the NFL doesn't allow it. But my sources are telling me that Snowden has been signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Snowden, Assange, Anonymous, all
no,
hot
Anonymous.
Right
go after Anonymous. Those are the people you do not want to ever mess with and get on the wrong side of.
Oh, no.
They can pretty much do whatever they want, it seems like, through a computer.
Oh. Hey, and they got that V for Vendetta mask on, too. I mean, they're out there doing it.
What if you walked into the Bucs draft room, like there's a guy in the corner, they didn't mean to, but some guys, like the GM's FaceTime, like, oh yeah, we just picked whatever, and then you see a guy in the corner wearing the Anonymous mask. How'd you guys know how'd you know that he'd still be there at 17 or whatever team it is? We do our research, we keep things, and you're like, oh, hey, get that guy out of the shot.
They're really worried about that. But I think it was this. I think that's how this came to be. Or this is how that came to be. I think whenever the owners were trying to tell the GMs and the scouts, like, hey, we're doing it as planned, figure it out. And the owner's like, or the GM was like, we want to meet the player so we know what type of person we're getting. And then the scouts are like, we're not sure. He plays a little bigger than we think he is. We'd like to see him in person. We're not going to be able. And the owners are like, no, you still got to do it. And some scout was like, somebody's going to hack into our fucking shit then. That's why the excuses to move the draft, I think, were all just kind of lining up, and last resort was, they're going to get Edwin Snowden, and he's going to hack into our mainframe, and we're not going to know what's going to happen. And those billion-dollar owners are like, they're going to hack into my internet. I've been on Pornhub for 2 weeks? 2 weeks. You think they're going to get our fans only? What if they did the entire thing through OnlyFans for a subscription base? I mean, I think obviously the NFL has a beautiful way of overthinking things. I think it's going to work out just fine, and I'm pretty pumped up about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. It'll be a bit different. I know they're trying to figure out if Roger Goodell is going to be at his house announcing the picks or if he drives the ESPN studios. Like, do you care where Roger announces it?
Why does it matter? Why can't the GM of the team or the owner of the team make the announcement of who they're picking? Like, hey, okay,
I agree. That's a great idea, actually. Why does Goodell have to do it? He gets booed every single time he walks to the podium anyway.
Well, there'll be no booing. So if I was him, this is maybe the time to do it, so I can understand him wanting to do it. But you send to the Cincinnati Bengals, what, Shed or whatever they're doing this from? And then you see Braun and the GM. Who's the GM? Nobody knows. Exactly. Zach Taylor, like with the first pick, we're selecting Joe Burrow, quarterback from LSU. And then, okay, cut to the Joe Burrow house feed celebrating. Does he put on a Bengals hat or does he swat the camera? And then you go back to Rich Eisen and whoever else is hosting. And then bang, second pick. Let's go to the Washington Redskins house, wherever they're doing it at. Ron Rivera's there with the GM. And with the second pick, we select defensive end from Ohio State, Chase Young. And we lied about the Tua thing because we thought the motherfuckers would want to trade with us, but they didn't. So we're taking the once-in-a-generation player, Chase Young. Okay, go to Chase Young's thing, celebrating, put the hat on. Way to go, Chase. Let's go back to Rich. With the third pick, the Detroit Lions trade their pick for nothing in return because they're the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, you got me thinking that, yeah, a team could try to bring in a hacker to try to hack into other teams' feeds and see what they may be doing. But also, if Anonymous or some hackers want to just create a little bit of chaos, couldn't they kind of hack into the broadcast and like the different Zoom connections and FaceTimes going on and try to put up some weird propaganda that they just want to mess with people?
There's people that have been hacking into everybody's stuff, by the way. WWE got hacked, the NFL got hacked. People have been getting hacked here recently. I think that NFL executive that told whoever that somebody could hack into our Zoom, I don't think they fully understand that the said people that you're talking about, they can hack into anything. They can, anytime they want to do anything, they can do it. But that's the world we live in, and there's nothing you can do about it because when V for Vendetta shows up, everything you've ever done in the dark becomes the light.
Well, I guess it makes it, I would assume it gives them a little more, it makes it a little bit easier for people to hack into it when it's all digital and it's not like, everybody's in one place, especially the first rounders. It will be fun to see. Don't we think it's going to be exciting to watch how, with the delays people have with their FaceTimes when they're like, someone's going to get drafted, they're going to cut to his house, and then they're going to try to do like a little quick interview from the NFL Network guys, and there's going to be 9-second delays, and it's going to pixelate. That's what I'm looking forward to.
We're happy. Yeah, can't wait to play football.
And family members don't know that like he's on camera and they're doing weird things in the background.
Hey, we in quarantine. We still getting paid. I mean, I couldn't even fathom my friends if that was to happen. So what were they going to do? They were going to go to Roger Goodell at his house. So Rich Eisen and them were going to throw it to Roger Goodell at his house. And then they were going to throw from Roger Goodell's house to the draft picks house and then back to – that just makes no sense. But I understand Roger Goodell, that's a big – the commissioner welcoming people into the NFL, I can see how that would be something that you would want to maintain. But it feels like just going to the teams and having them do it, I don't know.
Yeah, take one step out of the process. You're right. Why does Goodell could start the draft out and say, Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock. And then that's the last time we hear from Roger Goodell.
Like ever?
No. For the draft at least, or for the first round. Like, why do you have to keep cutting back to Roger in his family room trying to say, okay, Washington Redskins are on the clock? Like, do we have to do that?
We don't.
And then, though, Roger usually taps out after the third round? Whose living room are we going to for that? Whoever's underneath him?
Are they going to my living room? I mean, the good news is that my announcement for at least another year will have a nice little steadfast of, hey, the last great announcement was this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I have not been approached, by the way, by anybody to be a part of it. It's weird.
Are they going to do that? Are they going to have like the celebrity announcers like they had with you? What round did you do? Third?
Yeah, third round.
So you announced the Colts' third round pick. Do you think they're going to continue that and have different players from teams come and, hey guys, then the fourth round selection for the Cincinnati Bengals, and the guys tell them,
Well, you're banking on that person to have good Wi. You're banking on everybody to have good Wi-Fi, right? Like Orlovsky tried to sabotage our show. He goes on other people's show. There's no problem. He went on Lefko's show. Did you see that?
Yeah,
and it was like
connection.
Really?
8K.
This guy.
I hate him. He bombed on Get Up this morning. I had to call.
What did he do? What was he taking a stance on?
He tried to make a hummus joke, and it was, I mean, delivered okay, I guess, but the crowd reaction was not good. Greenberg actually said that in the middle of this coronavirus, Greenberg said, "You're trying to ruin this show." Not the sports. The joke from Orlovsky was trying to ruin the show. So, I mean, I like that. But he tried to sabotage our show. Imagine some third-round draft pick guy who, has just been hanging out for a few years, retired, and they're like, hey, you want to make the announcement for insert name of your team? Oh, I'd be honored or whatever. Okay, well, all we need is you'll FaceTime into this thing or whatever. He's like, FaceTime? Yeah, just hit the FaceTime thing. Okay, I'll just use we got good Wi-Fi. Yeah, my kids love it. And then you call in, it's just like, with the third... which is a screen, a frozen screen, and then Young. Okay, they picked a Young. Which fucking one did they pick? Was it Chase Young? Was it which Young did they? Steve Young? Did they just pick Steve Young? I'm excited for the inevitable technology fail that is going to happen. I mean, it's definitely going to happen, and the fact that they're trying to combat it, I like it, but it's just not. It's going to happen. I mean, this is the way things work in this world.
ESPN and NFL Network's not going to be able to go to each first rounder's house and set up a professional camera setup like Orlovsky has that he didn't use for this show that he uses for Get Up and other shows. But they're not going to be able to set everybody up with that situation. Hopefully, at least Roger Goodell has a nice professional setup and he's not holding his phone all wobbly trying to announce the number one pick.
$40 million a year, that guy. He's probably got a great setup. He might have NFL Network in his house, like the actual Culver City might be just a part of. We got to get to Drew McIntyre, so we're probably going to have to hang up on you.
Good. Call me back.
Huh?
Call me back when he's there. I want to tell him congratulations.
Well, I'm going to tell him congratulations first.
No, he hung up.
That's what I thought. We are currently calling Drew McIntyre. Our tech is set up in a fashion where you have to group FaceTime. So to call Drew, we have to hang up on AJ and call AJ and Drew at the same time.
Great connection, though. Always.
Oh, yeah.
Not always.
From our end.
Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Terrible connection. Tried to ruin our show. Then we had Dr. Drew on last week, and then this weekend, by the way, there are people going after Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of tweets from people that are like, this was the guy you let on your platform. I'm like, take it fucking easy, pal. He's a doctor still. And then they're like, oh, is he? And then there's just a lot of people going after Dr. Drew. We'll talk to AJ about that after the Drew McIntyre conversation because that was his booking. But I believe right now, if you're a doctor, got a lot of pressure on you. Got a lot of pressure on you. This isn't Dr. Drew, but ladies and gentlemen, the new heavyweight champion of the world, the sexy Scotsman, the mild-mannered McIntyre, Drew McIntyre.
Well, you got to see the plates.
Oh, look at that. I saw a little video on WWE Social that they were changing out the nameplates for you. Congratulations. How did AJ and I help you beat Brock Lesnar?
Oh, you guys inspired me. You fired me up. You guys are so full of energy that I stole some of that energy. Then when I was around Gronk for 2 seconds, he's just nonstop. It's like having two mojos. I stole some of his energy, and I applied all that energy when I took down Brock in less than 5 minutes.
Hey, a lot of people talked about that less than 5 minutes. They didn't know how many, suplexes you'd be able to take or F5s you'd be able to take. Were you doing a little bait and switch there? Were you playing a little dead? You took 4 F5s? Were you just letting Paul Heyman was actually saying, we'll do this all night until he can't kick out anymore. Did you hear that? Were you playing possum? And were you just biding your time for the Claymore to show up and say, gotcha, bitch?
I don't know if I could say I was playing possum because he came right out the gate swinging. You could just see the look in his eyes, like he was ready to go. There's nothing more intimidating than Brock Lesnar with his game face on. Unfortunately for him, I had my game face on too.
Yeah.
Like if you could read my mind, what was going on in my head, I literally was thinking, I can take Brock Lesnar right now, and if he tries any funny business in this match, I'll beat him up for real. That's legit was going through my head, and I could feel the tension. It's weird watching it on the couch as it's on the screen and reliving it as I'm watching it, but I felt held my own in that stare off because that was the important part of the match to me. Then he beat my ass pretty good for a little bit. He threw me around a little bit, gave me the F5s. I kicked him on one. On the first one, he kept going, and at some point, I stopped getting hurt. I started getting angry. Three claymores later, just like in Brooklyn, last time we were together, I gave him 3 claymores. 3. There was 3 more. It took him down, won the title, and like I say, I absorbed Brock Lesnar's best, and I beat him in 5 minutes, and I think that just set me off perfect as who I'm going to be as a champion. I slayed the beast and slayed him convincingly.
Well, hey, it was an inspiring thing. My 7-year-old son really wanted to watch it, and he did and loved it, had a great time. I wanted to know what it was like afterwards. Do you run into Brock backstage at all after something like this happens?
I see him very briefly. Brock is a private person. Nice title.
Thank you.
He doesn't love being around people necessarily, so I'll kind of leave it at that. We went in, the match went the way it went, and I couldn't have looked any better. So I won't go into any more details than that, but I'm very grateful how everything went and for everybody that was involved.
Yeah, I could imagine. You said in that stare down, you had to let him know that if there was any funny business, you're okay with that too. Because in matches of the past, especially at WrestleManias, he does start barreling those elbows down on people's face. And it seems like it's coming out of nowhere to everybody's. Did you expect some of that, especially after you kicked out after 1? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty...
I didn't know what to expect. I can just tell you what was going on in my mind. Hopefully my eyes were conveying exactly how I felt. It was just, I'm ready for you. Like, no matter what happens in this match, I'm ready for you. Like, at one point, he tried to German me. I grabbed the ropes. I pulled my tricep a little bit. It's fine now, but when he yanked me so hard, I refused. Like, the ropes were right there. And, like, I'm not just going to let Brock Lesnar ragdoll me around. I'm not going to let anyone ragdoll me around. So if the ropes are there, I can grab the ropes. I'm going to grab the ropes. And sure enough, he beat me down and gave me it anyway. But that one moment where I grabbed the ropes, so he didn't expect that. And my tricep didn't expect to pull pretty good. Because like there was a few real moments in there, and that's the way I like it, and I know that's the way he likes it.
You know what I thought is cool is that we can hear pretty much everything being said from Paul Heyman, from you guys in there, from the referee. Do you guys talk more or less without the crowd being there?
I mean, I don't talk too much in matches as it is. I just get pretty physical, and I believe at this level you should be able to do your job with minimal conversation. If Brock grabs me and throws me, he's not going to tell me what's going on. I'm just expected to know how to land and land. But Paul Heyman helped set the atmosphere, absolutely. Like watching it and seeing the environment we're in, I know I was in the zone. It was as if 80,000 people were there in my mind. I was so locked in on Brock, it didn't even matter. I was in the zone the whole time, but watching it, I could see Heyman really setting the tone and telling the story, which really helped the match in the environment. And it wasn't until the match was over, I had my kind of personal moment with the title. And then that was cool seeing it because I had the same emotion on the couch as I had watching it on TV. Is when I realized, oh yeah, there's millions of people watching. I was kind of in the zone there, and then I kind of crawled to the camera, and I had a moment where I looked right into the camera, like you're not supposed to do. It's called breaking the fourth wall. In movies, you don't see people looking down the camera, but nonetheless, I saw it there. I looked right down it, and I kind of reached out to everybody and just let the world know, thank you for supporting me this whole time, and thank you for allowing WWE to take your mind off things during this time. And they could have edited it. I expected it to be edited because it's not something we do, but they kept it in there, and it was cool because it was very real when I was reaching out to everybody.
18 years, man. 18 years. And we heard your story a lot this weekend, how Vince McMahon anointed you the chosen one a long way back. And all you kept saying was, how many world titles opportunities I've had since then is 0. And then you said you're not going to be remembered as a guy who played the air guitar or whatever. So vindication had to be at an all-time high, I assume, last night, just for your entire career coming full circle. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. With the chosen one thing, I think in recent months it's felt cooler to not be chosen by management, but chosen by the fans. I feel like the fans chosen one right now, especially seeing the outpouring of support and positivity on social media from my colleagues in WWE and every other company in the world that I've came across, during my career. And apparently it was pretty nice too, because we're all very positive, about everything. And I feel like everyone out there is chosen one right now, the management's, which is, I think, way cooler than being chosen by management.
What's your plan now? I guess obviously you're the champ. You got to the top of the mountain. Are you already setting like the pieces in place so that you're hopefully headlining next year's WrestleMania, hopefully in front of a stadium full of people?
For sure. I don't think too far ahead. That's what I used to do when I was younger. And you think too far ahead, you don't think about the in-between part. So I guess short-term goals, realistically right now, it's such uncertain times. We don't know what's going to happen week by week. We can only follow the health recommendations, the CDC guidelines, and we can try and keep bringing everybody original content. I want to be steering the ship and making the show as entertaining as possible. Because I think we did that with WrestleMania. We thought outside the box. Everyone worked so hard. We had unique matches. And it was an entertaining 2 days that really did take everybody's mind off of what was going on. I know that because I've seen all the social media chatter out there. So I'm thinking about, keeping that going as long as I can. Once we get going again, I want to keep defending the title. I actually show up to work, unlike Brock. So the title will be represented on the show. So the title will be represented. I want to be a fighting champion. And when I get back, in front of a crowd, when I walk out, and the people are going to be rabid, we've got passionate fans as it is. But if they've not been in an arena for a long time, they get back in that arena, we're back in the arena, it's going to be a fever pitch, and I want to walk out with the title, raise it up, and that's not going to be, I had my WrestleMania moment last night, it was special to me, but that'll be our big wrestling moment, and I can't wait for that.
Going into this era now, I don't want to say it's like I don't know. I don't even know what they'll call this era whenever it's humans coming back into public places again, but you're the champion of this kind of transition back into normalcy. That is a massive amount of pressure, by the way. And I assume that you don't view it that way. You're ready for it. Almost feels like this came at the perfect time. Although you had wished it was maybe 10 years ago or maybe 12 years ago or even 15 years ago. It feels as if now is the perfect time. You're ready for whatever could potentially happen down the road here.
Yeah, everything I've been through has prepared me for anything, and that's what I said all along. I didn't come back to WWE to be one of the top guys. I came back to be the top guy. Nobody's been through the journey I've been through. I started in WWE, had a lengthy run, was fired, went through so many experiences, good and bad and bad and bad, outside the company, but they all trained me to be able to face any situation, and that's what the guy needs. Nobody expected this situation to come. But it's here, and I know I'm ready to face that too and lead the company forward. And I'm very excited about the prospect. I'm very excited when we all get back together.
Somebody in the YouTube comments asked, how much protein do you eat a day? Do you just eat protein? Is that protein water there in your cup? What do you...
This is coffee. This is my superhero cup, the superhero Scotsman. I don't know if you can see that there.
Oh! Start selling those. Put them on Etsy.
It's weird because I just eat a lot, really. I've got my meal prep, ready-made meals that I usually take on the road. Obviously, I'm at home right now. I eat probably 3 of those a day. I have whatever I want for breakfast, and I have a cheat meal basically every day. And I work out hard in my garage gym that I've been able to fashion recently. And that's about it. High metabolism, good genetics, work out hard, eat a crap ton. And that's the Drew McIntyre way.
You have a cheat meal every day? You have a cheat meal every day?
Your elevated status. Oh, my bad, Pat. I didn't want to step on you. I think we muted each other out talking. I just want to ask him quick if the FBI...
It's a cheat meal every day. I would like to hear about a cheat meal every single day and how he looks the way he looks, AJ.
Pretty self-explanatory. He told you genetics and hard work. That's what he does.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
my cheat meals aren't the Rock's cheat meals. I'm not eating 20 stacks of pancakes or whatever. I'll have some Mexican food and maybe a pizza or whatever.
No, I want a pizza every day.
No, every maybe third, fourth day for pizza.
All right, I respect it.
Pat, if a coffee mug looked like it does in Drew's hand, in your hand, you could do whatever you wanted. That thing, you look like Andre the Giant holding that little coffee mug. It's pretty amazing.
I'll take that.
I wanted to know about the FBI. We all know that you, Freedom of Information Act, you like to, when you're a youngster, you send in for some info. Do you think now you're the champ of the world? Maybe they're going to pull back the curtain a little bit and really start to show you some of the secrets.
Maybe that's been my plan all along. When I realized that I was 11 years old and, maybe I can't keep following these conspiracy theories because if I find out anything, they might off me. So I'll focus on this wrestling thing. So I've been focusing on this wrestling thing for a long time now. I've reached the top of the mountain. So everybody out there, I can keep a secret. Just let old Drew know what's going on, and I can keep my mouth closed. Maybe I'm the champion of this world. Maybe I can be champion of all worlds.
Oh! The universe's champion.
I want to be. We've got the Universal Champion on the other show. WWE Champion's cooler. I want to be the actual Universe Champion.
I assume Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT is moving forward Monday, Wednesday, Friday as we go here, and only heightened expectations because the Raw after WrestleMania and the SmackDown after WrestleMania and the NXT after WrestleMania weekend is normally a restart on the year. This is the yearly calendar starting in the wrestling world. Now, granted, NXT has the second half of TakeOver happening Wednesday night with a Gargano Ciampa Ciampa match that's going to be insane, I assume, every time they try to kill each other. But this Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, it's a whole new calendar year now. What should we look forward to for old Drew McIntyre with this title other than being a fighting champ? What are we going to go with?
I'm excited about the future. It is forcing us to think outside the box and be different. I think we're going to learn a lot during this period. And when we come back, I think we're going to apply a lot of what we learn during this period and what works. Like, I loved that Boneyard match. I thought it was really cool. Like, Undertaker as Dirty Harry, essentially. And I'm worried about poor Carl Anderson. AJ got buried, but we can dig him out quick. Gallows get thrown off the roof, probably 2 broken legs. Carl got tombstone and set on fire. Like, has anybody checked on Carl Anderson? That's how Candyman started. Remember Candyman, the movie? He got set on fire. You say Carl Anderson's name in the mirror 5 times, he might show up. That's his new gimmick, maybe.
Hey, what did you think about the cinematic wrestling? Obviously, it's happened before with Hardy at the Hardy compound, and Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt had like a burn to house thing, and Triple H has been a part of these in the past, but it really came through huge this weekend with the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match. Cinematic wrestling might be something that starts making a little bit more of an appearance in a way, in an attempt to kind of distract people from not having an audience. I think it played perfectly, both of them this week.
I thought it was great. Like, both of those were so great, and I think we'll have similar, matches like that in the future. Maybe especially as our big featured matches, if we do some version of a pay-per-view within this environment. For me personally, it got my wheels turning. Like, what would Drew McIntyre fight in? If I could get like an empty bar or something, and I just tape fists, or like back in the day, Finlay and William Regal fought with cars surrounding them in a parking lot. They just beat each other up. That's the kind of thing I'd love to do. Like me and Bobby Lashley say, just beating each other up, knuckles taped up. I think that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, man, me too, dude. If you just want to go out there and just kick the hell out of somebody in a parking lot, I am all in. I am all in, by the way. That is,
love it.
How much input do you have in those types of creative ideas?
Yeah, if I've got an idea, I'll always throw it out. And if I have an opinion, I'll always throw it out, because in the end, we want to do the best job possible. We want the best show possible. And we'll listen to the ideas that are presented to us. We'll try and work with each other to come up with the best idea possible. And if you're on the roster and you don't do that, and then you complain on social media about it and you're push, then you're the idiot. Like, you should be thinking of creative ideas, pitching them. If it's good enough, it'll stick. You'll get the opportunity. And if you're not getting the opportunity and they're not listening, work your arse off in every other area. Get better at talking. Get more jacked. Get in the gym. Make yourself look better. If you're not jacked, get a unique character to stand out. Just whatever it is that you're lacking in, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I giving it my all in every area? Am I standing out in every area? If the answer is no and you're honest with yourself, let's not complain. Like, start figuring it out. Start pitching ideas. Eventually something will stick. Look what happened with me. Bloody hell. Eventually it worked out, and it was through hard work and people believing in me.
Well, that's why it's such a great story. And the last question I have for you, can you remember any ideas that you may have pitched that, looking back, weren't the best idea now that you think about it?
Oh, yeah, when I was younger. Bloody hell, during that first run, I was like the worst ever. Basically, Hardcore Holly did the same thing. I didn't do it as bluntly as Holly, but I pitched more or less along those lines. Like, you pitch an idea, you've got to be smart about it. Like, I wasn't when I was a kid. I basically pitched ideas that benefited me and me only. Like, generally, you want to pitch a situation where how you help yourself, you help your opponent, how it helps the product overall. So my eyes were basically, again, this is how Hardcore Holly said. I didn't say it as bluntly as this. He went to the riders and said, you've got an idea, what's that? I was like, how about you make me the champ? I was like, well, how about, what's your idea? I was like, I don't know, that's your bloody job. So that was more or less my ideas when I was younger. I was put the title on me, how do we get in there? I'm not the writer, you figure it. So it wasn't as bluntly as that. I used to say it when I was younger. And plus, trust me, his language wasn't as nice as what I said there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champion just got done beating Brock Lesnar the other day. From Scotland, the Scottish Terminator, the heavyweight champion of the world, Drew McIntyre.
Love it. You need to announce me. Come along to the Performance Center and announce me. Also, don't forget to put in mild-mannered McIntyre and Sexy Scotsman in there.
That's on me. By the way, I think I did commentary on SmackDown. I did commentary on SmackDown. I called you the Scottish Terminator. I think it was either on that or an NXT pre-show. And I got text messages from other people in the business who were like, his nickname isn't the Scottish Terminator, it's the Scottish Psychopath. And by the way, I watched the piece on you this weekend on WWE Network, Scottish Psychopath. You absolutely hated that nickname.
I just didn't get it because I wasn't a psychopath. I was actually pretty calculated and I was making wise decisions. I was like, I think the Terminator thing worked because I was really cold and calculated during my first, part of my Raw return. So that worked. But I poked Dean Ambrose in the eye with a pencil one time. That was the one psychopathic thing I did, I guess. So that's why I didn't like it. And I brought that up one time. And ever since then, I've never been called the psychopath. When I mentioned, why am I the psychopath? I don't do anything remotely psychotic. Since then, gone.
Fair play, by the way. Yeah, you're 100% right, man. If you don't want it, we don't want it. Ladies and gentlemen, Scottish Terminator, Drew McIntyre. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Good luck. Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for coming on.
I'll be back.
Get to the job. All right, I like what you
Like the Terminator, get it? For those who don't get it.
Yeah, we get it.
Just guys.
I love that guy.
Great.
I'm telling you, I love that guy. I'm a big fan. I'm happy he's champion. He's been nothing but nice to me every time I've met him, but he is a staggering individual. I mean, he is massive. One cheat meal a day? A cheat meal a day?
Were you surprised, or was it generally known that those were recorded and played this weekend?
Oh, generally known.
Okay.
Very, very much known, yeah. Yeah. Could have asked him on Friday. Really could have put his feet in the fire. Friday, asked him what that. And by the way, I think there was some stuff still being shot into the weekend, potentially. I think there was still some makeup stuff potentially being. I don't know. A wild turn of events. Hey, the World Heavyweight Champ likes coming on the show, I think.
He seems like, I mean, he's an easy guy to root for, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I think,
Wait, so when did they record all of this WrestleMania?
I think it was last week. I think they recorded it last week going in. I think there was some makeup from what I've been told. Now, I could be wrong, and this isn't anybody that was at the shoot or anything like that, just people who know people that were potentially there. I think going in Friday, Saturday, they even had some stuff they had to shoot. So I think it was going in potentially to the weekend, finalizing everything, but I think they tried to knock it all out last week. I guess that Taker AJ thing was a long shoot. I guess that took a long time to get done, yeah. It was like they made a movie. They made a 30-minute movie, basically.
It was where was that shot?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I have no idea. Somewhere down there in Orlando. So the way the Performance Center is set up, it's like this corner of a plaza, basically, and then they add on, and then across the parking lot, there's another thing over there. And then in that area, it's in like a corporate area where I assume they could, I don't know, they could have found some space somewhere. When Randy Orton and Edge were just roaming around the facility, though, it was I was like, oh, yeah, there's a radio studio right there. There it is. Yep, I've been in there. It was kind of fun to take a trip around the place. It was, I'm so impressed with what they did. You want to talk about golf now?
Yeah, some big news came out about the PGA Tour, right?
Yeah, so we got to remember that all this news comes after the Trump call to all the commissioners, right? So Trump calls all the commissioners this weekend, including Dana White and Vince McMahon of all the sports, and the NFL comes out and says that the president told them that September should be good to go, basically. Should be good by September. Now, nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I have no idea what's happening with that titty, the curve of the COVID-19 thing. We're hoping it's old titty, skinny titty, but it's probably going to be a nice, big titty, big round curve there. Handful. It's probably going to be...
Probably about a handful.
Probably going to be... We're trying to get that curve to go straight up and straight back down, you know what I mean? Flatten out a little bit and straight back down, roll them up, Ron White says, like old titty. But I think it's going to be a big fat old titty, and it's going to kind of take a little bit. Nobody knows how long the backside of that titty's going to take, though. You know what I mean? So to trying to figure it out, the commissioner's call with Trump, though, it is alleged that he said everything should be good to go by September for the NFL. And then the PGA has come out and said the PGA Championship will now be August 6th through August 9th. The U.S. Open will be September 17th through September 20th. And the Masters will now be November 12th through November 15th. So that's at least a little bit of optimism coming out of the entire thing. Can't wait for those golf tournaments to happen and never watch them because they're on at the same time as football.
So you're not going to watch any of it?
Nah.
I can understand not watching the PGA or even the U.S. Open that much, but the Masters, I would think you're at least going to check it out, aren't you?
Maybe. We'll see what time we'll see what's on that 4:00 game. I mean, that 4:00 game will probably be the Cowboys. By November, who knows, right, with the Cowboys. They could either be or, by the way, McCarthy wins the Super Bowl in that stadium. Now he's back in there. That's probably going to be a part of his message to the team, I'd assume, at some point during training camp. You know, last time I was down here, won Super Bowl. And that's what we're gonna do with this team. You know, we're gonna win Super Bowl down here. But the that would be a 4:00 game, obviously, and then whatever the Sunday night football game is, depending upon. And also, is Tiger in the lead? Like, is Tiger in the lead of the Masters? I'll flip over if Tiger's in the lead. Brooks Koepka, maybe I'll flip over. But aside from that, you're right in the middle of my football season, pal. I do not know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what. And I think, by the way, I think old golf's about to be in for a rude awakening. I think they're about to learn very quickly about where they are in the pecking order. But I am happy that they are postponing as opposed to just canceling, because I can understand that there's some people out there that love just taking naps while these guys golf in the background.
Well, it definitely gives some hope, but people love the Masters because it usually happens when there's nothing really else going on. So I think Thursday, Friday, the first 2 rounds, they'll still have a ton of people tuned in.
Oh,
Then Saturday and Sunday, that'll dwindle, because think of all the huge college football games that will be played on Saturday. So you'll see a bunch of people going back and forth. People, I guess, that aren't as fortunate to have a warehouse with a wall with 13 TVs like you have, when you could keep an eye on every single thing happening at one time.
Kind of unnecessary, I thought.
I'm saying you're set up for it. You're set up for this kind of situation with multiple great events.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I am. I try to watch every NFL game that's happening.
That's not a shot. I'm not taking a shot at you.
Your tone
sounds much different.
The tone.
What does the tone tell you?
You
Like you're
know.
taking a
The
shot.
tone. Yeah, it sounds
You
like it.
know.
I'm not as rich as you. I don't have 13 TVs in a warehouse. That's what it sounds
You
like.
nailed it. You got a perfect impression of me.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, please.
Well, when I played against Brady Quinn, my wife wore a jersey that was halfway. I talked to Pistol and told Chopper Bopper that we were gonna,
Nailed it. Nailed it. You could fool a lot of people with that. If you could call my family right now, and you could fool them all.
Hey, Chopper Bopper, this is AJ Hawk.
That's how I intro myself, my full name, every time I call my family.
I'll watch hockey, or I'll watch. I won't. I'll watch golf Thursday, Friday though. That was a good call right there. I'm actually happy these are happening, because Thursday, Friday can kind of carry us into the weekend, and then obviously Saturday college football, we got big games. Going to have to do what I'm going to have to do, and then Sunday. I mean, the best thing about the Masters is the Masters nap. When you watch the first couple holes of the leader, and then you take a nap and you wake up and he's on hole 14 or 15, and he's still in contention. It's like, here we go. This is what I came to Masters weekend for. The birds are chirping. Jim Nance is doing his shit. You know, that golf course that doesn't really let anybody in, but they charge $1 for Pepsis and stuff like that. That's the entire Masters to me, is that nap. And now can't do it because we got the greatest league on earth playing.
Yeah, I guess the question will be, what are people's primary screen? What's it going to be playing? Because people now will watch them on their phone. They'll have their laptop open, and then maybe a TV. People that are really invested into all of these different sports now, when they're happening at the same time, what gets your primary attention? I guess, are you going to have the Masters on mute? Are you going to have the game, the volume of the game? If it's the Cowboys, if you like them up, like, what are you going to listen to?
Golf conversation moves 0 needles.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, except for in the golf world, I guess. I guess golf people love talking about golf. But I think golf people are ultimately NFL football guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I think golf people are football guys. I think I don't know, I'm happy it's happening. These are going to be loaded weekends with a lot of things for us to talk about on Monday or whatever. But I like the Masters, and I'm obviously I'm upset with the way COVID-19 has made them reschedule.
And November, daylight savings time, it's going to get dark at like 5:15. Like, they're going to have to be done early for Masters.
Well, and I'm sure you guys might know more than me. Like, what's weird about Augusta and the course there, I always was told after the Masters happens, the course kind of shuts down for the rest of the year.
The azaleas disappear, AJ.
Yeah, so they're going to be playing
Shoot
in
all the
November. Are
birds.
we going to get to see all the beauty that is Augusta?
No, there won't even be birds because the birds have already taken off to Florida.
Yeah. There'll be fall beauty, though. No. Foliage. Can't doubt the foliage.
They can pipe all that in. They can make it look as close to it does in April. I'm sure they can make some tricks happen.
There was one conversation at the beginning of this wrestling time with no fans. People were wondering if they should pipe in audience reaction sound.
Ask the Falcons about that.
With no humans at all, piping in sound. Now, what Zito just referred to was the Falcons were piping in noise whenever there was humans there that weren't loud enough. With the WWE, there's 0 humans, and you can see blank spaces around there. If they were to pipe in sound, I think that would have very much Mickey Mouse their product even more so. And whoever was pitching that should stop talking about things for the foreseeable future, honestly.
Well, didn't you think so? When the little bit of WrestleMania I watched, like say when Drew McIntyre is wrestling,
Hey, why'd you have to take a shot at him, by the way? You're like, my 7-year-old, 6-year-old wanted to watch WrestleMania.
I wasn't taking a shot.
It was your tone. It was your, hey, Bopper, this is AJ Hawk. It was your tone.
I didn't want to watch, but my 7-year-old did.
I had a 4-year-old who doesn't know how the world works, wanted to watch WrestleMania. That's what you said to the world champion, Drew McIntyre.
I didn't think of it that way, but my son as well. I should have said, so my son is very excited to watch you wrestle as I was too. That's why we tuned into both shows, Saturday and Sunday. But when like say he wins, I thought maybe almost like this show, how you guys, that everyone chants with you or millions and millions, they clap when you introduce people. I thought maybe the people on hand, maybe 8 or 10 people there were going to start clapping for him. Would that have Mickey Mouse the operation?
No, and by the way, they probably did that back in Gorilla, right? The first time winning the World Championship, whenever you walk back behind the curtain, there's a place called Gorilla where Gorilla Monsoon used to hang out and direct the show, right? That's where Vince McMahon is, that's where Triple H is, that's where all the heavy hitters are. They're right on the other side there, cutting cameras, talking to people, the ref, everything like that, right? So that's a massive place, Gorilla. It's where you go before you go out, and it's where you come back through. And whenever people win their first championship, whenever they come back through, there's normally a massive celebration in there, right? Congratulations, it's a big moment. There's cameras for the Chronicle or the 24 series on WWE Network and everything like that. I thought there was a chance they could have had that come out front and did it, because whenever they had the 24/7 run, they had like 12 people all in one area. I thought they had like a rule. I didn't know they had that many people in the building, to be honest, because I was told by Triple H that they were coming in waves. Hey, if you're part of this match, you're coming at this time, so they could keep the numbers down. When that 24/7 thing happened, there was like 12 guys down there. I was like, oh, they could have had those guys maybe out there clapping, or a lumberjack match or something like that. They've obviously just chosen not to do so.
Is the WWE getting a bunch of heat for putting this on, even without fans? Like, are people still upset that it's happening?
Kevin McGran, maybe, that guy from Canada.
Oh, your guy, yeah,
Yes,
your Twitter buddy.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, you got him, huh? Has he responded yet?
I kind of backpedaled, but I want to let you know I didn't let my foot off the fucking gas. Want to let you know I was stepping on those toes while he was backpedaling. I was stepping on those toes. He was backpedaling. I was running my route right on top of him. I could see the whites of his eyes, and I'm still pushing, still forging ahead, pal.
Pal, all right, pal. Maybe Kevin will call into the show one day.
Nah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, maybe Kevin won't. What about the crew? Did all the boys watch WrestleMania?
I think so. By the way, I think a lot of people who have never watched wrestling before watch WrestleMania because there's nothing else to watch at this point. I have beat the game on Netflix. I've beat the game on Hulu, and I have no idea what I'm paying for cable. Their channels suck. There is nothing on to watch right now. So I think that's why everybody was watching WrestleMania, right? Am I right? You all watch it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're right. I just didn't see a lot of pub for WrestleMania, like just in normal media. Like, did you see him pubbing WrestleMania all over the place?
You don't do the internet much, right?
I'm on the internet. I stay aware. I'm not on there for hours and hours a day.
I think they had 14 of the top 15 trends last night on Twitter.
Well, yeah, last night. I'm saying the lead up to WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, the hype was not as big because I don't think there was as many shows to hype it up, right? I think there was only a certain amount of shows doing their thing. Now, granted, I think Triple H, Drew McIntyre, and others last week were very busy FaceTiming and promoting, whether it's local markets or whatever. So I think they tried their best, but I think it was just the way the media cycle was. And the thing about nowadays, though, things don't need a lot of hype. As soon as they get on there, if other people are talking about it, everybody catches fire. That's why the surprise album drops out of nowhere always work. They seem to always work. There's a lot of bums probably with no self-awareness who don't have a big enough following who do that, and it doesn't work. But if you're big and you drop an album out of nowhere, it's going to work. If you're Netflix and you drop a big documentary out of nowhere, it's going to work. It felt like WrestleMania was more like that as opposed to years past where it takes over every conversation. And to be honest, it might have been a more organic and better way to do it. I think it not being shoved down people's throat almost gave them a little bit more of an appetite to be like, all right, there isn't shit else on. I used to watch this when I was a kid. Let me check out what's going on. And then they see Undertaker and AJ Styles in the middle of a boneyard match. And they're like, what the fuck just happened? And they're like, oh, wait, it's back tomorrow with Rob Gronkowski. I have to tune in. That's what a lot of people were saying.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's weird when that's the one like live sport. Is it considered a sport or entertainment?
Well, it was once considered a sport, and
Then
then
they didn't want to be sued, so you got to switch to entertainment, right?
and then
What
Chris Benoit.
Oh God.
is that? What made him
Is that,
switch
that
to
was
entertainment?
really it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a terrible situation. I wasn't sure why it switched to entertainment from.
It kind of yeah. A lot of things had to change rather quickly there.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's good. That's good to know. I had no idea why it ever changed.
Well, and obviously the panda of the World Wildlife Foundation came after their ass shortly there. I mean, there was just a lot going on there, and they, kayfabe no longer was a thing. They had to do their. Let's go into the. You want to go into the YouTube comment section?
Yeah.
All right. Let's. Every once in a while, we like to dive deep into the annals of the internet, into the YouTube comment section, a place that everybody talks about being a great spot, and do some YouTube question. YouTube question. Zito, take it away, pal.
Yes, sir. Purdy Mouth Productions had a good question, but I'm going to alter a little bit. He basically said, do you think the events will have fans there? But, like, how would you guys play without any fans? Like, would that affect you guys? If you guys are on the, football field?
When I was young, maybe. That's a real thing. I wasn't a good practicer. Whenever I was younger, I didn't fully understand reps. I fully didn't understand why practice was so important. I fully didn't understand that if you're great in practice, you're probably going to be great in the game as well, just because of the way your mind and your body will react. I used to think I could just turn it on and turn it off. In all sports, I used to think that, and I was wrong. And then towards the end of my career there, whenever I got good and, ultimately got robbed by the NFL for being punter of the decade, Pro Football Focus obviously named it there. But for the 5 years out of my 8 years, I learned that everything is inside your head. Every punt that I would take in practice might as well have been backed up with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I feel like once you go on the field, nothing else mattered to me other than me and the ball. And I got to that point through a lot of reps, a lot of mental work, and to be honest, a lot of failures before I could get there. And then when I got to that point, it was a whole new ball game for me. So I think if there was 0 people, I know a lot of people say this, if there was 0 people there, if there was 700,000 people there, if there was 20 people there, for me, it was just me and the ball towards the end of my career. And that's ultimately what made me become the best version of me. How would it work for somebody who has to bang their head on other humans on a regular basis?
I think eventually it would be fine. I think early on it may be a bit weird, and it's something Mike McCarthy used to always say, especially away games, if we were playing somewhere where it wasn't going to be like a raucous environment where they weren't known to sell the stadium out. Like he'd say, it's going to be terrible there tomorrow. Trust me, the first half, there's going to be no one there. There's going to be no juice in the stadium. Well, I don't care. We'll roll the ball out in the parking lot. We'll play these guys anywhere. Like that's the kind of thing he would say. And I think eventually you would get to that mindset where after a game or two, it would just be your new normal. It'd be weird. It would feel like a scrimmage. Like when in college, did you ever go into your stadium and have like a scrimmage the first Saturday of training camp? That was what we always did at Ohio State. Always felt like a big deal, but it was really weird being in this big stadium with nobody in the stands. Like you only have those guys on the sideline who you're with.
Well, and also the echoing throughout the stadium with the whistle and the yelling, it just makes it feel as if it's only practice. It just has the feeling of practice. So once you can get past that and really be like, hey, this matters, this is a big deal, I think guys will be able to adjust, but I do think it will be a little bit of a learning curve early. What you mentioned there about Mike McCarthy telling you about no juice in a stadium is so interesting because you hear about people talking about how stadiums are going to be wild. They play the loud music. Like, hey, when you play the Steelers, every single practice at some point you're going to hear, oh, mama, I'm in fear from my life from the long arm of the law. Oh, and it's turning into my running and I'm so far from my home. Yeah! You hear about these places. You go to Baltimore. Boom, 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 boom. wrong one. But yes, 100%. And then, New England. This is our house. All the time. By the way, I've heard that too much in my life, just like I've heard the Renegade song too much in my life and the Seven Nation Army White Stripes. But you hear about preparing for that. You rarely hear people talk about how when you're going into a place that is shitty, a place that is very quiet, that you have to prep for that too, because a lot of guys feed off of the energy of the stadium. They feed off of it, and whenever you're going into a dud of a place, it can be a little bit of a mental challenge for some folks.
Oh, it's a huge mental challenge, and I think coaches are aware of it. They know going in, and they are primed and ready to be pissed off in warm-ups and make you bang skulls in warm-ups because we're not focused. We're not dialed in. What are we doing here? And then all of a sudden you ratchet it up and you're tackling guys to the ground in warm-ups going ones-on-ones. Like that happens in warm-ups sometimes on the road in terrible atmosphere.
You think we're just going to be able to roll the ball in the field and get a win today? Huh? Is that what you think?
Yep. You go out, you warm up as a team, you come back in the locker room for like 15 minutes, do the little prayer and everything. Usually on those stadiums that don't have a bunch of juice, 100% of the times your head coach is going to be killing the whole team when you come back in right before you go out to run out to start the game. Like say it's your guys' fault. We told you this was going to be this way. You guys, like you said, you're just going to roll your helmet out there and think you're going to get a win. It's the NFL.
Those boys are going to steamroll you right out of this fucking stadium. You don't pick it up. I can look at everybody's eyes. There's not enough energy in this locker room, man. It's like, the stadium is empty out there. What do you want from us?
Like, what do you want us to do, Coach? Like, how are we going to bring juice? There's nobody here. Like, don't blame us for that. Our warm-ups still look the same.
Hey, Coach, next time we play here, I'll have my family here early for play. I'll try my best. What else do we have to talk about? Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady are going to take on Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning. Tiger and Peyton, really good friends. I'm not 100% sure of the camaraderie level of Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. I'd assume they get along. Whenever you're up there in those elites, I assume you all hang out at different places. You do cocktail events, shrimp cocktail events. You microdose yourself so you can eat those types of things. You hang out amongst each other. I would assume that's on a very regular basis. I think everybody on earth feels as if Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning would blow the doors off of Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. And I don't think there's anybody that disagrees with that. I happen to be on that team. And by the way, I think adding Peyton and Tom would make it a much more entertaining thing as opposed to the dud fest that they put out before, to make it alternating shot. Let Peyton start talking a little bit of shit if he can. He might be so dialed in, though, he won't say anything. That's what I get worried about with these ultra competitive guys. Whenever they're playing, right, they're so Tom Brady maybe will talk. Maybe Tom will talk, but in golf, you have to be so focused. I'm not sure the amount of shit talk that you can have in between shots, especially if there's a lot of money on the line or a lot of people watching. So maybe you bring in some good, entertaining commentators and make this thing really worthwhile.
Charles Barkley, they're talking about Charles commentating this event.
That should be great.
And then you on the sidelines. You're going to be the David Faraday walking with the group.
Nah. I mean, I would, by the way. Just want to let you know that. I would do that.
So is this happening, though? I know it's been rumored. Is there anything put in place?
Dude, I have no idea. They're doing the Masters in November, dude.
The PGA has to approve it, which hasn't happened.
This is kind of like Dana White having to approve Conor fighting Floyd.
Oh, yeah. In the boxing match. I guess the PGA would be stupid not to greenlight this, though. What's it going to hurt? It's only going to help the game of golf.
PGA's no, that's the United States Golf. USGA, by the PGA has made smart decision. USGA, now, by the way, there's a whole new group of humans there, a new generation of executives and stuff there. But for a long time, the USGA has been known to be a bunch of stooges and sellouts. They haven't, but they have a new generation in there. Hopefully, PGA will do the same. I would love to watch this. I would spend whatever they charge me to watch this. I would. I just would enjoy it. And by the way, I think Peyton and Tiger probably win by 10 shots.
But is there going to be any kind of handicap situation? Like, is Peyton that much better of a golfer than Tom Brady?
The handicap is you have Phil Mickelson instead of Tiger Woods.
Yeah, but Phil beat Tiger in their first head-to-head matchup.
Touche.
Tom has custom clubs. It was on an episode of Entourage.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So, something to think about.
I just wonder if hopefully there's no, they don't add handicaps to it. Whenever you put handicaps, on Tom and Peyton, I think it just takes away from it. If they can find a way to just be shot for shot, if they do alternating shot, that would be amazing.
Amazing. That would be incredible. Just think about Peyton hitting some shank late and Tiger just getting so pissed off. Or on the flip side, imagine Tiger hitting a shank late and Peyton just giving him a fucking, are you kidding? Hey, bub, what the fuck are you doing there? And then let alone if Phil Mickelson tries for one of those overhead flops and hits himself in the face, Tom Brady might go with that let's fucking go punch right to his suckle. You know what I mean? I mean, this could get good. This could get good. And I am looking forward to it for sure.
If Phil flops a shot into his own face, then yes, the broadcast will be a success, I think.
That's all we're looking for. We're just looking for one of those moments. I honestly, I think that's all they should be looking for. In this internet world, you get one or two magical moments out of something, you should feel great about it. For instance, our golf thing done at Topgolf last year, Tim Tebow, with the best Jesus Christ joke I've ever heard in my entire life, nailed it, went big, nothing else we could have done. We might as well just shut down the entire shop after that, but we had to act like we still wanted to do the whole thing, and we did ultimately. We did. Dana White shoots down the rumors that him and Vladimir Putin had a deal to move Khabib back to America for the fight. Vehemently. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Vehemently shuts down. Apparently, he shut down the story that he and Vladimir Putin had a relationship to talk about Khabib. And I think this is a smart move by Dana, by the way. You never want to publicly be linked to Vladimir Putin, I don't think.
Yeah, I'd say that's a safe bet to be on that side of it. But they have UFC 249 coming up April 18th. They say is still on, even though Khabib is out of it. Justin Gaethje's looking to step in to fight Tony Ferguson. They still don't have a venue. Like, you don't have a venue this far out. It's April 6th. The fight's supposed to be the 18th. How in the world can you put this together still?
No idea. I think Dana White's working. You know, real G's move in silence like lasagna, and Dana White has been proving that he is a real G. He said he's not doing any media before any of these fights. He's just going to basically let them drop like an album out of nowhere. He said he was tired of answering questions. He thinks a lot of media is turning against him, by the way. He's getting into an interesting turning heel with the media thing, which I enjoy, by the way. I am a big fan of it, only using a couple people that he respects and likes as his outlet, and because he can do whatever he wants, by the way. He's the Vince McMahon of fighting at this point. But I think these fights are just going to happen with not a lot of fanfare, just like WrestleMania, and you're just going to kind of see it happen. And I'm here for it, to be honest with you. I like anything that can distract the monotony of the day-to-day of this COVID-19 quarantine. And I'll tell you what, two humans going in there and cockfighting will do it for me. I don't know who the hell they are.
You don't know who they Yeah, well, first off, Khabib and Tony Ferguson, this is like the 5th time they've tried to make this fight happen. And now Khabib is back in Russia. He's not going to be able to take part. Like, it's like a cursed matchup. The matchup is amazing for people that watch MMA and the UFC. But Justin Gaethje, I don't know if you don't know anything about Justin Gaethje, just watch YouTube a little later today. Justin Gaethje's the most exciting, ballsy, dangerous fighter out. Like, he just stands and bangs with every single person he fights.
Oh, you want to hang and bang, cuz? You want to hang and bang?
He's a wrestler. He's a college wrestler, and he never wrestles.
He's like Chris Lytle.
Yeah, he never wrestles. That's what's amazing. Like, he's like, all right, hey, you may beat me, you may knock me out, but you're gonna eat about 150 shots to the head.
Chris Lytle's our guy. Only guy in documented UFC history to be in over 30 fights, never knocked out, never submitted.
I think he's here.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He wasn't. He stopped by a couple weeks ago. I wish he would have.
I thought Matt Mitrione was your guy.
They're same camp. Same camp here in Indianapolis. We got some tough dudes here in Indianapolis. And if you accidentally roll up into the basement of a house in the middle of the hood in Indianapolis that has no windows and has a bunch of wrestling mats in it, you can get your shit broke 9 times in 1 minute like Pat McAfee.
Did you do that, really?
Oh, yeah. I went and rolled with Matt Mitrione. It was brilliant. He was getting ready to fight a human, and I was just in there trying to lose some weight, and we did a rolling sesh for a minute, a minute run. I tapped
he's
out.
He's a lot bigger than you, and he's a professional. Of course you're going to get it dominated.
I did. Yep, I did. 6 tap outs in 1 minute. 6 tap outs, 1 minute. He put me in a double arm breaker at one point. Both of my arms were being broke.
So you just had to verbally tap?
Yeah. I was like, my foot, I started kicking. I forget the exact thing. It was unbelievable. They're so smart. He would do something. It's like, it really is like chess. I'm a checkers player. Everybody knows I'm a checkers player. What is in front of me? Let me jump over you. King me, bitch. Let me move forward and then come right back. Chess, you got to think 4 moves ahead. So whenever you're tangling up, and by the way, I had no idea what I was doing. So I mean, there was some wrestling matches I think I won in the house with my brother, and I think I know leverage pretty well. But when it comes to those dudes, and Matreon, by the way, not that big of a wrestler. He just knows more about jiu-jitsu than I do. He was setting me up. He would finger me in the side of my rib cage, and I would move like this, and then bang, he'd grab my neck. He would I would do this, and I would move, and then he would expect me to not move, and then he would hit me with another one. It's like bang, 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 broken arms. It's like I didn't know what to do. I came out of there with 7 bruises and 6 tap outs in 1 minute. I was like, well, I'm never coming back here again. That's for sure. What am I getting? A ringworm too? I mean, how do I get the hell out of here? But I will watch every single MMA fight that comes out. I watch them all. Even if I don't know who they are, I watch them just because that mindset of being able to walk into a cage, 2 men enter, 2 ladies enter, 1 man, 1 lady leaves. That is just something I don't have, and I have the utmost respect for it. But I don't follow along. I mean, there's so many. I don't know how to pronounce most of their names. I don't know what's going on. I just know that they're the ones with the big gut sack that get in the cage and cockfight.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I can't imagine doing that. Going out there and fighting in your underwear, shirtless, locking the cage behind you. Yeah. I mean, Mitrione's bigger than you. Funny thing is, you go roll with any guy that has any kind of jiu-jitsu background, he could be much smaller than you, and he's still going to dominate us. I mean, I don't know what you're doing here with these. Is this wrestling?
He's shooting.
That was a shoot, bro.
Fucking shoot.
Shoot.
Good
pop.
shot.
Come
Good
on,
shot.
shoot the leg. Single leg. Ever heard of it?
Is this like a legit wrestling shoot, or is this like a WWE?
Oh! What, dude?
Double shoot.
What, dude?
Keep going. I want you to come back on the mic.
AJ, he'll break it.
Oh, that's a tap out.
Let me wobble back to me corner.
You got me. I would have definitely tapped that. You're right. I wouldn't mess with you.
Whoa.
You're so sudden. Little slot receivers are sudden. That's what I think when I watch you move.
Pretty winded, too.
I know. That's why I want you to keep going for another minute or two.
Turns out this microphone, quite a fucking battle.
Good single leg, by the way.
Thank you. My aggro crag fell earlier today whenever I was trying to get a little wild on somebody.
Oh, it was Mitchell Schwartz you were pass setting.
By the
Oh,
way,
you're pass setting earlier this morning?
oh, if you ever saw my pass set, you would choose to go the other way, pal.
You were pass setting with somebody else. Damian Woody, is that right?
I got a good pass. I used to do pass sets in public. That used to be my thing. I would just be walking around the street with my boys or whatever. It would be like me and AQ walking through something. And I'd spot a guy. I was like, oh, he got no fucking chance. I'll just in front of him for a half mile almost. People are like, get the fuck out of my face. I'm like, you got it.
I would love. Did anyone ever challenge you and try to give you a little bull rush?
Oh, yeah. Some guy tried to hit a spin move on me, and I had to give him the out the door. I had to kick him out
Look
of
at
the
you.
club.
Look, hands inside, thumbs up. Look at you, man. You know what you're doing.
Thank you.
Ooh, tough one. Regroup. You got to regroup from that.
Bring it together. Let's do YouTube question. All right. Anything else we should talk about?
Yeah, Matt Mitrione it's M-I-T. You say, I think you pronounce it like there's an A in there.
Yeah, it's Matt Matreon.
Yeah, Matt Mitrione. Exactly.
Yeah, it's Matt Matreon.
All right.
Bill O'Brien, general manager of the Houston Texans, Stooge. He said on the Hopkins trade, he had 3 years left on his deal, and he wanted a raise, and we couldn't go that direction. We felt like we had an excellent deal from Arizona, so we pulled the trigger. Well, if you have him under contract for 3 years,
You don't have to give him a raise.
that's the funny thing about that.
Let me educate Bill O'Brien. Every player on the team wants a raise. No matter what your contract is, everyone would love to get a raise, no matter who you are. So yeah, when I read that comment, I'm like, wait, he was under contract for 3 more years. It wasn't like he was coming up that year and we couldn't hold on to him. You had him under contract for 3 more seasons. If he wanted a raise, he's not going. Like DeAndre Hopkins also doesn't seem like the type of guy to sit out and hold out and miss games or anything because he wants a raise. So. And you watch how Hopkins handled it, too. He handled it with all class afterwards, too. He doesn't seem like a guy that would be an issue if he really did want to raise that bad.
No, I mean, and Hopkins seems to be a quiet guy. I mean, it's we might have this all wrong, and it feels like Billy O just hated the guy. At one point, it came out that there was a potential leadership struggle in the locker room between D-Hop and Billy O Stooge, like who was leading it. I mean, it's such an interesting thing. And for this to be, I don't know how Bill O'Brien has a gig still. And he has a bigger gig than most. Mike Tomlin right? Was coaching Steelers in that Packers game you played in just yesterday on Fox 59.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't have roster control. You know, he's been to the Super Bowls. He's been a guy that's beloved by his locker room, by his team. Now, granted, the city's kind of turned on him because they're expecting a little bit more championships. But in my eyes, Mike Tomlin is like one of the pinnacles of coaching in football. I mean, he has been a long time around. He's a winner. He doesn't even have control of the roster. I mean, there's only certain people that have it. The fact that Billy O has figured out a way to Joe Exotic, Jeff Lowe himself into this position of control is just wild to me. There's nobody checking that guy. That guy can do whatever he wants. There's nobody checking him.
Yeah, what is maybe he thinks he knows something we don't want to know, we don't know, but there's a lot of coaches I think in the NFL, and well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I would like to ask you, do you think all coaches want to be the GM as well?
Yeah, no.
I don't think so. I think they want some control over the roster, and they want to be able to they want their input to be heard.
Yes.
But to be a GM obviously is more than a full-time job. To be a head coach is like having 7 full-time jobs at once. There's so much going on, so many hours you have to put in. Doing both of them seems very overwhelming to me, and there's a lot like Bill Belichick, he can do it. There's certain special people that can handle it, and there's others that I think it's just too much for him.
I like to think back to when Ninkovich told us that if Bill Belichick knew he was having a conversation with you and it was potentially going to be about a contract, like he was preparing for that conversation as if it was the Super Bowl. Like, so when you walked in there to negotiate your contract, he has everything you've done stat-wise, the reason why he doesn't think you're worth as much as you potentially, and he verbally jousts you into the oblivion where you're accepting terrible contracts and understanding that this is good for everybody. I'm getting out of there. I wonder if Bill O'Brien thought he could just do the same thing. You know, like, all right, when DeAndre Hopkins comes in here and he wants a raise, let me tell him about this drop ball he had 17 weeks ago. And he walks in there and DeAndre's like, I'm seeing other wide receivers get paid. I understand I got 3 years left. Maybe we redo this thing, put a little bit more money up front, I'll be happy. He's like, you remember when you dropped the ball 2 years ago? You remember that, you motherfucker? You want some more money? And DeAndre Hopkins is like, what are you talking about? Get me out of here. He's like, I will get you out of here. I'll fucking make you leave tomorrow. And he loses his cool. And then bang, somebody calls like, we'll give you a bag of balls for DeAndre. He's like, deal, get him the fuck out of here. And then somebody who's like in his close circle is like, hey, next time you have a conversation with a player, we just got to relax a little bit. Like maybe we can't just trade him away because they're not happy with what you're saying. I think this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Bill O'Brien on how the business works. I think he got absolutely fleeced in that deal. And the fact that he thinks that's a good deal still is insane to me. It's absolutely insane.
Well, if you're saying he's going to have to learn here, the problem is he doesn't have a whole lot of time left to learn. Like, do you think if they don't make a deep run in the playoffs, is he still going to be around next year?
Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler have been stuck in the Bahamas with her hairstylist for 22 days. Just posted another photo of them drunk in the water.
It's true.
Are there kids there with them?
Yes.
Okay. So they can't get out if they wanted to?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It looks like Jay Cutler's been having the time of his life. I mean, have you seen, if Jay had Instagram, he just posts photos of him pissing in the water down there in turquoise waterland, that, as Evan Foxy would call it.
It's a good place.
The Bahamas, that's the turquoise waterland?
Yeah, the Caribbean is called turquoise waterland in Evan Foxy's eyes because he went to Michigan State, and Michigan State's only known for a couple of things.
That's true.
Uh-oh.
What is Michigan State known for?
Foxy?
Oh, AJ. We're past that, all right? Let's talk about football.
Great basketball team.
Yeah.
At times.
Great
Football team
basketball.
solid. Mel Tucker took over.
Couple of
What are they
legends
before?
out there.
Yeah,
Magic
Larry
Johnson,
Nassar was a
Draymond
great
Green.
guy.
Whoa, tie.
It all begins and ends with that thing Ty just slipped in there.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Ohio State, though, is no
Spring
Yeah,
chicken
there's a doctor there that I think he killed himself. I don't know how many years ago, but was doing weird things with a bunch of wrestlers and different athletes, and they've come out. And I don't know how much farther it's going to go or how many people are going to come out. But brutal situation on multiple different schools too. Like if we know of these schools, how many other places was this happening?
I wonder. There's just creeps everywhere, I think. I think there's just creeps everywhere that you would never, ever. I mean, I was in the VIP, hanging with Jared Fogle 10 years back, bottle popping. Right here in Indiana on Tuesday night. That probably should have been the first sign of trouble with Jared Fogle. And
Wait,
for me,
VIP
probably.
where?
It was a place called, what was that, Lobster?
Rock Lobster.
Rock Lobster,
good
VIP,
spot.
no big deal.
Like at a bar? Like, did you talk to him?
He was in the VIP booth next to me. It was a Tuesday night.
That was the place.
Yeah.
Did you get any kind of like weird vibe from him?
Yeah, of course I did. It was just,
Like what kind of weird vibe? Though?
I was like, why is the Subway guy like? Why am I here? First of all, why am I here? It was because I was just going out every night of the week, and there was a different crew for every night of the week or whatever. I was kind of confused by me. But then when I got summoned, to a table in the back, and I saw a fucking Subway guy, I was very mind blown. I think we might have done a shot together, and he said, "I'm a big fan" or whatever. I was like, I like sandwiches too, man. And I gave him a shot, and I walked away, and then lo and behold.
So did he live in Indy? Is that house that I watched when they raided it? That's around Indy?
Yeah, that was right by a lot of my teammates that chose to live up there with all the yuppies. It's right in the area there. The helicopters were buzzing. Boys were buzzing up there around.
Yeah, and his wife was completely taken, like she had no idea. I guess that is something you could probably hide from his wife, huh?
Is it, AJ?
It seems like I know she divorced him right away. I think is he how much longer is he in jail?
Forever. I think he's probably in there forever.
Yeah, forever should be.
Him and Joe Exotic are just getting after.
No,
it.
I mean I think he got 20 years or something.
I mean,
Had to be more. He'll be dead. No, he's out in that like the one where they wear. It's where all of the terrible that they have like a pedophile jail. I think that he's at.
Oh, they do
Yeah,
in Indiana somewhere.
No, it's out in like Colorado or something like that.
Well, there's the Supermax in Colorado. I don't think he's there, like with the Unabomber and terrorist.
his sentence was 15 years.
That's it.
Jesus.
It says New York City. I don't know if that's actually in New York City.
He's on Rikers.
Was he
No,
around
He'd get
Epstein?
killed at Rikers in a heartbeat.
I don't know if Fogel and Epstein were boys. Did
guess.
they all link up? I don't know. Are they all kind of like that? All the people like Nasser, Fogel, Epstein, are they all just hanging out?
Dusky.
Hey, how does it happen? Like, when does it happen? When they're kids, they always, like, is it a like, I watched a lot of Dahmer stuff there. That happened when he was a kid. Like, he was going to be that person no matter what. There was no, I don't think, I mean, granted, there was a choice probably not to kill people and eat them, but all the stuff I watched on Dahmer, he was like a freak since he was a child. I wonder if all these dudes were like that since they were kids.
Writing was on the wall.
I'm
Probably.
sure if they go back and you like examine all what they were like as a kid, yeah, maybe there was little signs here and there that like, hey, something is just off. Like something's different about whatever's going on with this guy.
Fogel's only in jail for 15 years. He's probably, what, 5 years into that at this point?
Yeah, August 19th, 2015. And he's in Inglewood, Colorado.
Yeah, that's
Well, he like what did he? I don't know what exactly he got charged with. I know he had a ton of like underage kid porn, but did he ever like act on it with kids?
He pled guilty in a federal court to possessing child pornography and traveling to pay for sex with minors.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't know he was traveling to pay for
The
sex with
earliest
minors.
he could be released is July 11th.
How does he only get 15 years?
I don't know. It's got that Subway money. It's unbelievable. Now, granted, I used to enjoy a great Subway sandwich before they got too big and their meat went to shit. But it's hard to put a sandwich in my mouth knowing that they were associated with the fat guy who was wearing 75 pants and then went down to smalls just because he was eating sandwiches. And now that we know a little bit more about dieting, there's no way he was eating that much bread and losing that much weight. It seemed like I was lied to.
Who do you think has a tougher time transitioning back into society, Jared Fogle or Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Tekashi needs to immediately become a white woman.
Fogel looks like a lot of people. Tekashi does not.
Well, I'm saying he's going to have to get a surgery. Like, he's going to have to get, like, maybe even the cheeks stood up a little bit and the whole.
He's gonna have to get laser the tattoos off his face.
Yeah, they might just they might have to just tattoo a new face on him is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe some moles in some places and stuff like that. Like, I think he's going to have to very much transform into a different human because I believe that gang that he was referring to, they got shooters and they'll show up right there at his house.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to put on any live performances, I would guess.
Yeah, he's going to be a quarantine rapper forever, I think.
He's gonna be a Zoom rapper forever, huh?
Yeah.
Or IG Live.
Wait, are those real shots? He's back. I don't know. He said he's at home with his family in an undisclosed location. Smart. They're often running.
Is he in witness protection?
No, I don't think they gave it to him.
No, he can't.
Because
He can't get it?
Yeah, there was something going on where he couldn't get it. It wasn't offered up to him.
It's probably the tattoo on his face.
I mean, that's part of
We'll
it.
change your name, kid, but that fucking thing you got on your face is going to be a problem.
Yeah, he got out early, didn't he? Because of the COVID?
Because of COVID, yeah.
Yeah, he's got under house arrest till August, like everybody.
I don't understand how that works either.
Yeah, wouldn't you have to do the rest of your sentence potentially at the house?
You would think.
What's going on? You got prisoners in Colorado, I think. Is that?
Oh no.
Did Fogel get?
No, Fogel wouldn't fit his fat ass through that. There was prisoners just hopping over a fence and just jogging down the street, and then they cut it off at like a certain amount, like 15 prisoners got out, and then the security guard's like, nope, you guys, you missed your chance. Get back in your rooms. And then in Brazil, there was a line of 200 prisoners just jogging out like it was like just a casual stroll, just jogging out of the jail while I was behind them. I think a lot of prisoners are just getting out of jail right now, just like, yep, see you later. Joe Exotic's still locked up, though.
Yeah, a lot of non-violent crimes, like they're talking about now, like who can they release to help the spread throughout the jails, I guess. But man, that's a weird, like going through each, that's going to take a long time unless you just open a door and let some of them run out and then close the door and say, hey, I don't know. Maybe just random times you might just open a door. If you guys see an open door, you can get out of there, but it's only going to be open for 3 minutes at a time.
Let's get to the YouTube comment section real quick. Twitchy the Great says, Tekashi should just kind of die. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can kind of do
OH.
Twitchy.
That'd be like, would that be like a coma?
AJ just left you hanging
Yeah,
there.
you didn't do it.
It's all right.
You're like a ventilator.
Oh, I didn't say IO back to you?
Hey!
Yeah,
Life
dude.
support.
I wasn't sure what you were doing. I wasn't sure if you just...
You know, I did that at College Game Day, the pre-show there, OHIO. Was in front of like, I don't know, however many people were there, a couple thousand. I know somebody that's done that in front of the entire stadium. They did that, OHIO. Do you remember that, Foxy?
Yes, I do recall that story being told to us.
Yeah, because I did the OH, you know, and little Big Nut was sitting there, and the whole squad was there behind. Carpenter was there, you know, IO, and it was a pretty cool little thing. And then I was told immediately afterwards, like, is that the most people you've ever done that in front of? And I said, yeah, it's probably the only time I've ever done it, to be honest with you. Like, oh, I've done it in front of the whole stadium. I was like, well,
Wait, who told you
someday
that?
you'll get your chance.
someday I'll get my chance to do that.
Wait, who told you they did it in front of the whole stadium?
Like, that's one. That was tough, isn't it? That was tough to listen to from that person. You would be very difficult to take that person serious after they told you that, wouldn't it? Right to your face. It'd be very, just going forward for the rest of your life, it'd be very tough to take that person serious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
It is.
Who,
It has.
who would it be?
Come on.
Nah, I can't do it.
How would you do it in front of the whole stadium, first off? Like, grabbed a mic during a game somehow? Someone got a handheld mic and went to the 50?
None of us really understood what he was saying, but he said it very confidently, and then I just walked away and told him to go fuck himself. Actually, I think I actually said to him,
did.
I think I actually told him, oh, you think very highly of yourself, and then I just walked away. Like it was one of the most savage things I've ever said to somebody in the moment. And to be honest, it was like 7 layers filtered before I could have put it out because there were some pretty important people standing around, you know. So I had to.
Was this person that said it one of those important people?
Nah.
No.
Nah. I don't know. I don't know who's
Oh,
important
man.
these days. I don't know who's making decisions these days.
It was awesome to watch.
I'm curious to see
Foxy,
who that person may be.
Foxy and Zeno had a front row seat to me just potentially burying somebody and going,
You didn't get it on. They didn't get it on camera.
I have a photo of it.
yeah. Zeno tried. Like it was a walkout. We were leaving because all those game days we'd go in, we'd do the show, and then we would leave immediately after because Saturday afternoon was really the only time we were home all season. So to get out of there was a pretty, monumental thing because it was like, hey, another week down. Here we go until we fly to New York in 23 hours or whatever it is, right? So we were trying to get out of there. So we're walking out, and I got like stopped on my way out almost. Like, so head down, walking, here we go, stop. Was that the most people you've ever said that in front of? It's like, excuse me? Was it the OHIO thing?
So they stopped you just to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I hate this person.
Oh, yeah. It's hard. It's very.
What an awful thing. Like, why? What would ever make you do that?
So I'm walking, me and Foxy Zeno. We don't really
And
know.
and I'm sure though you were giving off the vibe like, hey, I'm trying to get the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah. I think we even had a security one. Like, I think it was even like, hey, we're doing this. And it was like, oh, excuse me. Whoa. Excuse me. Is that the most people you've ever done? And I said, excuse me? I've done it from the whole stadium. You think very highly of yourself, huh? Okay. Go fuck yourself. And then we walked out. It was quite a moment. But we were walking out, and as we got past the moment, right, As we got past the moment, I think the security person we were with was like, "That was weird," and I was like, "That was awesome." You mean? I turned to Foxy and Zito. I was like, "Did we catch that?" And Zito was like, "I got a picture. I couldn't. I'm so sorry I didn't get the camera up quick enough because we thought it was just an exit package. Turns out we were running into." Oh man, I don't know.
I hope this person is not one of my friends.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, come on. Then I don't want to know. I don't want to know
I
that
think-
because I can't. I don't want to cut that person out.
Oh wait.
Too late.
It wasn't Bobby Carpenter, by the way.
I know it's not. I knew it wouldn't be Bobby because that'd be too easy to pick out because he was there with you and you mentioned his name earlier. But the fact that I also think this person's a liar.
Probably, but
No one in front of the whole stadium and says OH, and then they all respond IO. They like at Ohio Stadium, they do like the OHIO chant around the stadium. That happens during games. It's like every place has their thing, but no one takes a mic before a football game. No one has a mic down there. I know
maybe it wasn't a
the
football
guy
game.
that's the PA announcer. He's not doing it.
I was surprised, by the way, whenever he told me. I didn't think it was possible to say it in front of that many people, but he pulled it off. And that's what I'm talking about. Have you ever dotted the I for that cult?
No, that's like a huge honor. They don't let anyone really do that other than like Jack Nicklaus, John Glenn, I think did. Like you gotta be a pretty special person.
AJ Hawk, Ohio State legend, can't dot the I.
There's a lot of great players that came through Ohio State, Pat. In case you are wondering.
Or any of them driving a Tahoe that says Ohio State legend on the license plate.
I bet that's not me. I don't have that, but I'm sure there actually are some of those people.
Do they
Maybe that person that stopped you.
That's right. You got to dodge.
Do they get to dot the I?
I don't know. I don't know what you have to do to dot the I. To be honest with you.
Hey, that Horseshoe Stadium was awesome. Going in there that was my first time ever in there for that game day. It was awesome. It was a cult, but it was awesome.
Yeah, all great, especially college football teams. Like it is a cult atmosphere.
Bro,
and what's cool about Ohio State, like 105,000 people inside. What is there? 300,000 outside tailgating. They don't mess around. Like, they have legit tailgates.
Yeah, the tailgates are not some half-ass, let's have some beers in the parking lot either. There's people taking beer bongs to the face. There is full-on. Things are going down. I mean, it was a great atmosphere, great environment. But obviously, I only said it in front of a couple thousand people. I didn't get a chance to do it in front of more. Another cult that was awesome to be a part of there for a little bit was Georgia, UGA.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching, I don't know, 50 to 60,000 adults start barking. I was
Drooling.
dumbfounded. I was absolutely dumbfounded. We're talking about some of the most successful people I've ever encountered, just flanking us to the left and to the right, and an entire section of humans below us, all above the ages of 25, just full bark to get their team to maybe get a shot to beat that LSU squad. And everybody in there knew they didn't have a fucking shot, but they were barking their asses off as hard as they could. And I've never seen anything like that. I was mind blown by it, AJ.
I haven't been down to many of those SEC schools. I would like to go and see what it's like.
It's different down there. People say it. That's like the tagline. It is real. It is 100% real. It is. I mean, Ohio State, same thing though. By the way, I don't think there's much difference there. I would assume from a lot of other places though, it's just a complete different ball game down there in the South.
Oh, it's so different. West Virginia has a good atmosphere though.
Take me home.
No, they don't,
Bro. Oh yeah, I just got sent the video of me doing the OHIO thing. I was figuring out whether or not I wanted to play it. I think we're past it. You know what I mean? I think we're past it. But West Virginia was a great environment. All drunk. Everybody's hammered. The issue we had was there were free tickets for the students. So the free tickets you just had to sign up for. And we'd be up like 20 at halftime, and you couldn't drink in the stadium. So all the students at halftime would just go, take it easy over there. I was upset too, but not that upset. The students would just filter out of the stadium right back into the parking lot and then never come back in. And it was like for the entire second half, we're up 20 on a team. We may be on national television, but it's a big deal. And the entire top of the stadium was just empty. I think it's changed a little bit. I think Oliver Luck potentially started changing it up a little bit. And now the new AD has tried. But back in the day, that was our problem, is that we get up too much and then the place would empty out. And if it became a game, you'd see people start sprinting back in the stadium. It was a raucous atmosphere, but it used to get crazy. They'd throw stuff at the other team and stuff like that. It's the type of atmosphere I enjoy, and I assume you do as well.
Oh, love it. I would love to play for that team and also go in, and when you go to places like that, when you're the opposing team, I think it's a lot of fun. And if there's ever a stadium or ever a school that needs to serve alcohol at football events, it's West Virginia.
They did. Oliver Luck, first day on the job, by the way. He was like, by the way, everybody in here is drinking from our tailgate, not outside.
We're gonna get kegs of beer, and we're gonna sell you an 18-ounce beer for $36, and we're gonna make tons of money because you'll pay for it. Think about it. You're inside a stadium, like also when it's new, and you think like, oh, this is cool. I can drink in here after I've been coming to games for 30 years, and I have to sneak my booze in. Now I can actually buy it right here.
Diggs has something.
Breaking confirmation news. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell informed teams that facilities will remain closed indefinitely, and the league will conduct a fully virtual draft with club personnel separately located in their homes.
All right, so hey, what the boys can get prepared to do come draft time, we're going to have to evaluate like the background of some of these coaches, GMs, players. Like there's going to be, especially when they cut to players and they're in their living room, there's going to be some awesome environments created by the family members and friends surrounding that player.
They always do, by the way, but now it's even more important because it's going to be an actual part of the broadcast as opposed to a cutaway, let's see the celebration while we talk over it. It's going to be cutaway, celebration. Let's now interview them at that house. Their tech is not ready for this. Let's have a terrible conversation with some family members yelling in the back. They know nothing about the team they just got drafted to or the fan base. Let them say some things, and let's go back to our virtual set now with Rich Eisen in LA, somebody in Bristol, and then Roger Goodell from his house in the middle of the screen. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. It's a potential train wreck, which doesn't happen at the NFL. The NFL is normally very methodical. They're normally well thought out. They have the best of the best for everything. I mean, they hosted 250,000 people last year for that Nashville draft. I mean, normally everything is so. This is a lot of outliers, a lot of X factors. How will they adjust? Will they be able to adjust as well as McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk?
Yeah, I don't know if that was your big sign-off or something. You were trying to end the show.
Show's over. Show's over.
Look good, feel good. Feel good, play good.
Play good, pay good, live good, die good.